Ben Spees. Ben, quite a pole lap for you. Now, the real question is, let's show everybody here. You actually have pucks on your elbows that you drag. What corners do you drag your elbows in around here?
Well, it started out being 1 or 2, but these guys are pushing so hard, they're making me ride way too hard, and that's I'm dragging them pretty much every corner it's got that there's big curves. So they're out there just so I don't mess up my pretty little leathers.
Well, they call him elbows for a reason. That's because he's looking for a race win. He's going to do it using the curb. Now, next to him is the 40 machine of Jason DeSalvo, put it second on the grid. He's looking for a great race. Our camera bike, number 95, Roger Hayden, who's off doing the business. Now, here's Tommy Hayden, brother to Roger, older brother with Nicky wedged in the middle. Quite a championship battle we have going on here, Tommy. Let's get right down to the nitty-gritty of it, man. Battling your brother, how does that make you feel?
It's cool for the team and for the family. I mean, we're both going, but we both want it really bad. But so far, it's been really good. And we've had a good time with it, and hopefully, it's still a lot to be done and a lot of points still available. So I'm just trying to keep my head down and try to finish up strong and try to get it done.
Now, you're the older brother, so you taught Raj everything he needs to know. Do you think you have the mental edge because of that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it doesn't hurt anything, but then again, I feel like I have, I've been here more, maybe have a little bit more experience more than just being older.
Well, Tommy has a big smile underneath his helmet. Now, we got to go ask Roger Hayden the same question, don't we? So, Roger, the question is that because Tommy's your older brother, do you think that he's got a mental advantage over you, or do you have the mental advantage because you've seen all his tricks?
I think maybe I should have the advantage since I've seen all of his tricks, and I'm just kind of coming up with my own, but I don't know, he's tough, and he's got a little bit of a gap, but we're going to put our head down and try to get a win today.
All right, well, good luck to Roger Hayden. What a great championship battle we have going on here in Supersport.
All right, well, we have met most, if not all, of the members of the front row, but we're going to give you another look at them as we set the entire field here for Supersport, starting with row 1.
Ben Spees, 129.073. Anybody on a 600 would love to turn those type of lap times. Jason DeSalvo, he's going to be strong here today. Really fast in the morning warm-up. Next to him, we heard from Roger Lee Hayden. There's no question what his strategy is. He's going to get out front and try to leave everybody. We'll see how many guys go with him. Watch that 95 on the green ZX6 Kawasaki outside. We heard from Tommy. He's got to make a decision about the championship. Can he afford to risk it all and go for the win, or does he sit back and let the race come to him?
Row 2 starts with Aaron Gobert, who along with Jason DeSalvo is trying to carry the banner for Yamaha and get back into this championship that they defended. He had a tough get off. You heard Greg White talking about it. There is part of it. Of course, he disappeared behind the tire barrier there and ended up against a wall in that part of the racetrack. Michael Barnes was going for the front row as hard as he possibly could on his championsonline.com machine, but he didn't quite get there. Steve Rappel starts 7th alongside him on the Valvoline Suzuki with Michelin tires. And finally, the front row is completed by Tony the Tiger Myring. We'll be looking for that number 56 to work with the other Kawasaki's. We know the green bikes are fast. His should be good, too.
Australian Ben Attard on the 308. He'll go at the whole side of row 3. Ty Howard next to him. Chris Paris on the number 8 Valvoline Suzuki. He had himself a fall. It was pretty remarkable. Watch this, onto the front straightaway, losing both tires. Finally, he's got to bail off the thing, but he took quite a hit, and that gravel trap did its number on the number 8 machine. On the outside of that row will be Jason Perez on the 74 Yamaha. He's looking good this weekend too, Brian.
Another talented youngster, Blake Young. Lee Acree right there with a lot of experience. There's Darren Luck, and with the rest of the field as we go back through there. Chris Ulrich is coming back off some pretty bad injuries. Looking for him, a former winner in Super Stock class. Nick Cummings, another youngster coming up. Jason Temmie's been here all week. A lot of track time for the 246 rider. Just all the way through the field. Great talent. Some of the local riders, a lot of experience. It's going to be races all over. We hope to show you most of them. Of course, we'll tend to concentrate up front because that's where the championship will be decided.
All right, this is the part of the race where the marshal signal, everything's good. Visors are down, bikes are in gear. We're trying to find the sweet spot on the clutch. When the light goes green, it's time to go racing.
Great start out of the Yamahas, and it looked like a fair start for everybody. Tez Stewart is down on the racetrack again as he has had a problem or down on the racetrack, as he has had a problem, but he's not alone out there. It appears as though there are quite a few incidents here in this opening lap from deep in the field. Ted Stewart starting from row number 9. And this is a pretty interesting start situation. We've got a long single file line behind the pole sitter, Ben Spies, who breaks into turn number 6 with a pair of Kawasaki's right behind him.
Tommy Hayden kind of getting vaulted into a pressure situation with a championship on the line, but he gets a good start. He'll follow Ben Spies down through the turn 8 combination. Wheels get real light over the top of this blind rise. Sometimes you'll see the guys get airborne. Very, very tricky corner right here. Another blind ride off the concrete pad. You see a lot of wheel spin here.
Down out, and look at this. 3 bikes kind of pulling away from the rest. Jason DeSalvo running in 4th position, trying to close the gap. Spies, there's the elbows out style that we know means he's in full choke boogie. And right behind him, it's Tommy Hayden, who outstarted his brother Roger. And Tommy, starting from the outside of the front row, actually had a pretty good line into turn number 1, and he's used it to his advantage, sitting second, going for a pass on the lead. Can't quite get it done as they finish lap number 1. We'll take another look at the beginning of this race and show you what happened at the back of the field. Montez Stewart, take a look at the baby blue bike left of your screen.
Montez gets in a little hard and slams his brake lever into somebody's tail section. 3 riders go off, but Montez not having much luck here at Mid-Ohio, coming back with a broken wrist, but looks like he got his hand up out of the way there.
And he did get up and get going again. Here's the other rider that was involved, the number 36, Jeremy Heideck from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. He had a tough job just getting here. There's a pass for the lead almost, as Tommy Hayden didn't quite get around. Heideck actually spent 6 hours on the side of the road repairing a fuel pump on his tow van. And now he's got a tough race. Yes, sir. So Ben Spies hangs on to the lead, but Tommy Hayden is challenging him early and often. We are only 1 lap into this race, coming up to finish the second one very shortly.
Incredible speed from Ben Spies on this opening lap. Tommy getting pulled along with him. He's right in the draft of that Suzuki. The Suzuki's been down on horsepower up until the most recent races. The Kawasaki's been the fastest bike in the field along with Yamaha's. It's so close, but there was a definite disadvantage that the Suzuki had, but the crews got Ben Spies' bike right up to snuff with the horsepower now, and that's allowing him to run away with this.
Well, you know those Suzuki guys are not going to rest on their laurels, and so Tom Houseworth and Mitch Leonard and Steve Meyer, John Jackson, the guys that work on those bikes, James Hashimoto, the engine builder's probably been burning the midnight oil to get a little more pony under the plastic there, and it's showing. And Ben Spies is just riding the ever-loving heck out of that thing. Into the keyhole turn, he opens a gap on Tommy Hayden, now tucks in as tight as he can get that lanky Texan frame behind the bubble and tries to set sail.
Down through the kink, just about 160 miles an hour on these 600s, and then hard braking 4 downshifts. Very, very slippery turn here, Brian. You guys, about the halfway point, you'll see who's chosen the right tire for these conditions. Right now, everybody hooked up pretty good.
Ben Spies leading the race over the Hayden brothers that are battling for the championship. Jason DeSalvo and Aaron Gobert are there. Tony Myring running 6th. Wow, we've got a heck of a race getting started here. Following all the motorcycle racing that you're right in the middle of watching right now. On board with Roger Hayden running in 3rd. Tommy's in front of him. Ben Spies is just in the distance in front of them both. And there he is.
A little bit of moisture on the lens of the 95 machine. This racetrack already slippery enough. We don't need any water on it. But these guys, they know when to back it down, and the leader can actually signal on the front straightaway if the rain becomes an issue on the track. And they'll red flag it, but so far so good here right now with the weather.
And Tony Myring having a problem as he was running in 6th position, but right now he is a pedestrian. Here's a look at what happened to Tony Myring. Oh, just getting clipped, it looks like.
Look at him hang on to the machine, Brian. That is just bulldogging the 56 machine, making contact with one of the Valvoline Emgo Suzuki riders.
Steve Rapp on the number 5 bike, but Tony Myring, the Tiger, man, he held on like a tiger, didn't he? Did not want to let that motorcycle go.
Amazing determination to try to stay with it there. There is not room for 2 bikes side by side through that carousel turn.
On board once again with Roger Hayden, our Progressive Motorcycle Insurance camera. The gaps have stayed about the same. Tommy Hayden not having a lot of luck closing, and Jason DeSalvo is out of the race. So we have got some real attrition taking place. And for Jason DeSalvo, that is a huge blow for the man third in points. The winner of the opening round at Daytona out of the race.
This racetrack is just demanding the best of skills out of everybody. Can't say it enough here this weekend. Ben Spies is setting a pace right now that is up the ante for the rest of the field. One, lapse and concentration, especially up in this corner right here. And these guys, this corner has taken out the best of the AMA series here this week.
Greg White, quite a series of developments here early in the race, and raindrops continue to show on the onboard camera lens.
Yeah, there's a couple drops falling. It's more spitting than anything else right now, but I can tell you, when the Yoshimura and the Kawasaki team came tested here 3 weeks ago, Spies was so fast he was putting down some 29.5 lap times. The Kawasaki guys told me they had a miserable test, and anything that's going on between Tommy and Roger is just those guys digging deep to try to win this race.
Well, Roger Hayden just put a pass on brother Tommy for second, and he is definitely fast on the racetrack right now. In fact, he has put up the fastest lap of the race, except for the third lap by Ben Spies. Roger Hayden with a 29.68, heading for the front.
We'll see how Ben Spies reacts this time by. His pit board should show him that the 95 is now chasing him down and not the 22. We'll see what kind of effect that has on the mindset of the number 11 rider. I think I'd probably try a little harder to stay away from Roger Hayden than I would Tommy.
Well, Roger has more to gain and less to lose by being aggressive out here. He is the man behind in the championship. You would expect and actually allow Tommy Hayden to ride a little conservatively with a 22-point advantage over his brother. Send little brother Raj out and see if he can pick up the win, and then take your lumps for the championship with 2 races to go. That might be Tommy's strategy, as long as he keeps him close and as long as his pit board doesn't tell him somebody's coming up from behind to take another spot away.
Exactly. I think that's what we're seeing out here right now, Brian. Tommy just kind of getting into a mode where he's got to think about the championship. And this racetrack, as I said, is so challenging right now for these riders. He can afford to back it off, let his little brother go. But there's some pride involved here, too. The number 11 will do everything he can. Steve Rapp down now.
Oh, boy. Boy, this track is really taking its toll, and the pace, mid-29s by the leader, is definitely having an effect on everybody trying to chase him. Steve Rapp will try to fire the number 5 Valvoline bike and get it going again. We'll take a look at what happened to him, as there's a corner worker, but apparently he's decided that there's something wrong, and it's likely in the shifter area. Here's what happened to Steve Rapp. He touched Tony Meyering a while ago. Now he touches the ground.
Exact same spot for everybody. I could show you 10 pieces of video here right now if I wanted, of some of the best riders in the world getting bit by that turn.
So Steve Rapp trying everything he can to get an injured bike back together. Tony Meyering is just going to sit down and be a spectator for the rest of this one. Mike Barnes now rounds out the top 5, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Bikes are on the track. We're going to try to get this one started for the 3rd time, and the reason why, well, there's a sequence of events. The last one is why we're under a red flag right now. First turn, first lap started it all off.
Montez Stewart collecting a couple other guys. Just part of racing here at Mid-Ohio, really tight into that first corner. And Steve Rapp, Tony Meyering getting together in the carousel turn. Tony Meyering riding the Bulldog in the 56 all the way into the ground. And Steve Rapp all on his own up in the keyhole. Tucks the front end, goes sliding off. But he's gotten his bike prepared and he'll get back in it. And then finally the 494, Scott Beckley, just really hammering himself over the top of the turn 11 area. And then one more here between Darren Luck and Jason Perez on the 74 machine. The 141 and 74 both going down very hard. Jason Perez hurt pretty bad enough to go away in the ambulance.
Getting ready to get going again, and that means let's go to Greg White.
All the motorcycles, the front wheels in a 1-foot square block, and the bikes go into gear, and the clutches to find the sweet spot here to get a good launch. So far, Ben Spies has been able to do it, and he gets a decent one again, but so does Roger Hayden.
This time it's Ben Spies on the rubber match restart. Spies started from the pole the first time, jumped out to a lead. The second time did the same. Roger Hayden was able to get around him. This time Roger's running in second. He's going to have to go after that 11 bike all over again. Big wheelie down the backstretch.
It's going to cost him time, Brian. Roger's going to be able to get the draft up the bend. See if he does the outbraking move to the right of the number 11 machine as they head into turn 6.
Ben laid off the brakes for a long time, but yeah, he threw a big draft with that Suzuki GSXR straight up in the air. Roger Hayden in second position, Tommy third, Aaron Gobert fourth. So a lot of the same players are up front again. Ben Attard in 5th position. That's where he started. That's where he is now.
Opening lap really sketchy through this corner up here. You saw Beckley have trouble right there is where he went over the top of his machine. Everybody clean through here though this time, Brian.
A lot of fast motorcycles and very talented riders up front. Ben Spies just over and over again proving that he's the man to beat in this race as he's got the elbows out and Roger Hayden on his tail. Tommy once again riding a little more conservatively, being stalked by Aaron Gobert, and you feel like it won't be long before Gobert tries to slip around. What are the ramifications for the championship? Well, Aaron Gobert is 5th, a distant 5th behind Tommy Hayden, and he won't mind giving up a few points to the 96 bike. On board with Roger in 2nd place. Roger Hayden drawn very close indeed right now to Ben Spies, who is really ringing on that Suzuki out in front, and they have left everybody else almost a second and a couple of tenths behind.
Brian, I cannot believe the lean angle that Ben Spies is getting out of the number 11 Suzuki GSXR. I mean, he does ride with his elbows, it kind of exaggerates the look of it, but the lean angle across the concrete here, that's just the tire technology nowadays is just amazing that he can pitch it over that far. Look at the elbow right near the ground.
Grabs a quick downshift. You can see the eyes of Ben Spies fully focused on the job at hand, and you know that Roger Hayden's eyes are fully focused on the back of that number 11 machine, as well as the racetrack ahead of it to try to get around. Under the bridge into turn 1, finishing lap number 9.
Well, it's really risky to try to pull that type of lean angle, especially on the concrete, but what it does, it pays off. When he does pull it off, he's able to finish off the turn a little bit quicker and get to wide open throttle, and I think that's his secret here at Mid-Ohio. He's just picking up the throttle a little bit sooner than Roger.
A tenth of a second, maybe a little more, between Roger Hayden and Ben Spies that time. It's back to about 1.5 seconds to 3rd place Tommy Hayden, who's still holding off Aaron Gobert. We're well past the halfway mark of this one. Take a look at the men in the top 10, and hang on to that image until we come back. Well, you saw it just as we went to commercial. Behind the pictures of the top 5, switch to put him in 1st place, take 1st and put him back to 2nd. Roger Hayden is the new leader here at Mid-Ohio, and here's how he did it.
Solid drive out of the keyhole turn. He's been working on Ben for a number of laps here, but that time he was able to pick up the throttle a little bit quicker than the number 11 rider out of the keyhole, and it pays off huge at the end of the straightaway, right around the outside. Pretty difficult place to pass, and definitely on the outside, it was probably a surprise to Ben Spies.
Well, he got it done early, which is why he got it done at all. Usually it's a late-breaking move inside of turn 6, and now, if anything, he's actually opening a gap on Ben Spies. He looks so relaxed in catching him. Can he stay relaxed out front?
Not with this racetrack the way it is. I mean, one false move, you put the wheels 1 inch over to the right or over to the left, and you're going to be on your head before you know it.
Oh, and on your head, we have another rider down here and can only believe that it might be another incident. Nathan Dressman from Michigan on a Brighton Superbike, riding Michelin's, a Yamaha laying on the track. And the corner workers are heading that way. There's a picture of Nathan as he is a picture of some agony right now. We'll take a look at what happened to Nathan Dressman.
I think they're probably going to have to red flag this again. You can see that's one of the fastest entry points on the racetrack, up between turn 2 and 3. And Dressman doing his best to get off the racetrack, semi-conscious there. Incredible. We have 4 red flags today.
Well, 3 red flags and 4 starts if we go again, but I don't know. This one is now at least 13 laps in the book. And the rule, the AMA rule says under red flags, if it's 50%, the officials have the discretion of a restart or not. It may be declared a full race. If it is 80% of the race, it will not be restarted and declared complete. So Roger Hayden, Ben Spies, Aaron Gobert, and the rest are just going to have to wait and see if they have to go out and race some more or whether or not this one will be done.
My guess is that they'll call it, Brian. Then Roger Hayden, they'll back it up one lap, which he was leading on. Roger Hayden will be declared the victor in this one.
Well, if they count 13 laps, it would be 80%. So we could have a complete race here. Doing some quick math. But of course, the AMA officials do their own math and don't rely on me for that at all. But in any case, it's very likely that Roger Hayden could be declared the winner of this race if it is stopped at the end of 13 or even 14 laps. Now, not everyone got around for the full 14 laps before the red flag came out. But Roger Hayden is beginning a celebration that he thinks is because he just won his 3rd race of the season and the 3rd race of his AMA Pro career.
Definitely going to help his championship hopes. He comes out with the most points. But laps led, definitely got to give that to Ben Spies. But they are going to call it, Brian.
Well, and Roger Hayden made up some points on his brother with a 1st place finish versus a 4th place for Tommy Hayden. It's a 9-point turnaround for the younger brother. They came in 22 points apart. They're going to go out 13 points apart with 2 races left. So the race has been declared complete, and apparently Roger Hayden is our winner.
Roger Hayden. Wow, what a sprint race and a victory. Congratulations. Really starting to rain here now, isn't it?
Yeah, I kind of got messed up by the rain today, and it came back and helped me out here. But we made some changes after the last red flag, put a new tire on, and it's exactly what I needed. And I got by Ben. I just hounded him and finally got by him and tried to put a – he made a mistake coming out of the keyhole. I think that's how I got by him. If not, I was going to wait a few more laps. So the race really folded into my hands, and ZX6R really ran good. Dunlop tires, Joe Rocket, all my mechanics, Rye helmets. We got 2 in a row now. And hopefully we keep chipping away. Maybe at the end get a little closer to Tom for the championship. But him getting top 5s every weekend, even with the seat falling off, it's going to be hard.
How about that pass for lead, you remember?
Yeah, like I said, I got a good drive out of the keyhole. I really struggled there in the beginning. And he kind of spun up a little bit, got on the curb, and my power was, I tucked in good. Kawasaki power motored me right by, and then came around, seen plus 0.6 or 7, and I just thought I had it, and then the red flag came out, and that was it.
And what about where Tommy finished? 4th place, you collected a ton of points on him.
Yeah, that's good. I need to collect 22 of them points, so I don't think I got enough yet, but he's riding good. He keeps plugging away, doing what he has to win the championship.
All right, congratulations. Another win, 2 in a row, 3rd on the year for Roger Hayden.
All right, we'll take a look at the results, and boy, you get the feeling that Roger, while he's giving props to older brother Tommy, is thinking, you know what, I'm coming. And here we go. Here's the results. Roger Hayden, Ben Spies, Aaron Gobert, Tommy 4th, Mike Barnes, way to go Barney, finishes in 5th. That's 2 of those for him this year. And Chris Ulrich on the comeback trail, rounding out the top 10 there behind Lee Acree. Ty Howard also coming back to racing here, former Annandale racing member. And here's the look at the rest of the results. Skeet, let's take a look at the points. Yes, Roger Hayden did make up some ground on brother Tommy, and 13 is now the difference, not 22. So as we go to Road Atlanta, maybe little brother thinks that 13 is his lucky number.
It could be, yeah. These guys are going to duke it out, Brian. With Ben Spies, he's not out of this thing either. I mean, with the 2 brothers going at it, they could have problems, and Ben'd be right up in there.